Drip, drip, drippity drop. Drip, drip, drippity drop.
Well, the roof is leaking and the rain's falling on my head.
Drip, drip, drippity drop.
Well, the roof is leaking and the rain's falling on my head.
Drip, drip, drippity drop.
I cry.
Welcome to our YouTube channel titled Vinyl City Broadcasting, your transit express to rock and roll trivia. I'm Marie, the host of VCB. Need to run across the street and pick up an umbrella. Looks like it's going to rain, and I'm getting an itchy, twitchy feeling. Meet you in the studio. Rico, the roof is leaking and the rain's falling on my head. Drip drop, drippity drop. I'm glad it's not raining in here, Rico. And I like the poster you did of Bobby Hendricks of the Drifters on the studio wall. He's a singer and songwriter and our special guest on the show today. Let me share with you a little synopsis about Bobby Hendricks and the Drifters. At age 16, he joined his first group, The Crowns, based in Columbus. He would go on to sing for the Swallows and the Flyers before joining the Drifters in late 1957. With the Drifters, he toured at the Apollo Theater and recorded Drip Drop, Moonlight Bay, and Suddenly There's a Valley in 1958. Leaving the Drifters later that year to start a solo career with Sue Records, Bobby recorded the smash hit Itchy Twitchy Feeling, which reached number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100. He would record more than a dozen other songs with Sue Records, including the hit Psycho, which reached number 75 on the Billboard Hot 100. Throughout the 60s, he recorded songs with Mercury Records, Cub MGM Records, and Williams Records. Bobby also recorded songs with Bill Pickney's original Drifters in the late 60s and would tour with them off and on until 1972. In 1977, he moved to Los Angeles to establish his own vocal group. Since then, he has toured the country and internationally, performing in nearly every state, including a 6-month engagement in Las Vegas. On April 13, 2001, Bobby was inducted into the Doo-Wop Hall of Fame of America at Symphony Hall in Boston. That same year, Bobby reunited with Bill Pickney's original Drifters to perform on PBS Doo-Wop 51, and again in 2007 for PBS Doo-Wop Love Songs. Bobby now resides in Santa Clarita, California, with his lovely wife Ruth, and continues to tour in the Southwest United States, delighting audience young and old with the timeless sounds of doo-wop. We wanted to give you a taste of some of his performances over the years at different venues. Rico edited snippets of a few of them. Run the edited performances of Bobby, Rico.
Sitting here wondering what it's all about.
As you can see, Bobby's performances and presence on stage has lasted 60 years up to our day. He continues to wow audiences, and on top of it all, he looks great. We at VCB had the pleasure of getting an exclusive interview with Bobby at Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts back in March of this year at a doo-wop concert called Jukebox Giants. Dan Pequeno, a Vinyl City Broadcasting contributor, did the interview. Run the VCB interview, Rico.
Welcome to all of you out there in Vinyl City broadcast land. I'm Dan, and I'd like to share a thought with all of you. In my life, since I was 3 years old, I started listening to music. But there were certain songs that when I'd hear them, I would immediately and promptly flash back to a moment in my life. And one of those songs has to do with this gentleman right here, Mr. Bobby Hendricks. When I was 7 years old, my cousin John was driving me to my elementary school. And the song, you get that itchy twitchy feeling,
Yeah.
da, da, da,
Yeah.
da, get the rockin' and a reelin'.
Yeah.
We were rocking and rolling in his car. And then I had to go to school. What a drag. But so when I hear your song,
Yeah.
I immediately flash on that moment of my cousin John, his white Ford, itchy twitchy feeling. So Mr. Hendricks, tell us something about you, how the song came together. What would you like to tell us?
I lived in Brooklyn for a while,
Okay?
and I had a friend named Jimmy Oliver. He was a guitar player with the Drifters, and I went to his apartment, and he had me just singing anything, and then he decided he had a good song for me to do, and it's called Itchy Twitchy Feeling. But then I had to backwards because I'm the one that actually wrote that song.
Okay?
And I had a great time with him. And I've been so happy with for him being such a friend, helping me out. And I was only 16.
Okay?
And he was actually the guitar player for the Drifters, but he kind of got quit and he stopped. So he and I were at his apartment, and I came up with this song, Itchy Twitchy Feeling, and he helped me. He put the music down, and that was it.
So what inspired the title? Anything in particular? Did you have an itch?
Itchy. Had 2 or 3 of itchy.
All right.
Yeah. And it was nice to think that we're going to write a song called Itchy Twitchy Feeling.
Yeah.
You know, we could have said coughing, laughing, but that Itchy Twitchy Feeling was what it was. It was a lot of fun.
But that was the way music was back then. It was fun music, and
Yeah.
that title just fit right in. So growing up, who were your influences? Who do you remember that
yes.
inspired you?
Clyde McFadden,
Okay?
all the guys from California, 3 guys. Who's it? There's a group called the Jets.
Okay?
And there was a lot of good guys that I ran up into. I had to do the show, and we recorded this number on the way by the Coasters. And they were there. There were some good guys that actually went to rehearsal with me. I had a piano player. He played these songs for me. He developed them, and I started singing them, and it was a lot of fun. And really things really came out to be nice. They were good people, and I was very happy to know them. So I spent a lot of time thanking them for being friends to me and being nice to me and showing me how to do it. And I was glad. I was glad.
One of my dear friends and customers was the late Frankie Lane, and in his book, he mentions all the people that were kind to him and assisted him in his career that he wanted to write about in his book. So it's just nice to know that there's people in this life that are nice, because you got those negative people, but there's always those people that you remember, you don't forget them. And so I'm glad that you had those positive experiences for yourself.
When I was around 20, I went to England, Germany, China, went to, whatever, we stayed at West about 2 times. Not Brooklyn. I can't even think of the place, but
Okay.
it'll come to me.
It's okay.
But I had a nice time because we used to had to get on the ship to go to see them. We got on the airplane first, then we went on the ship. And it was in England. That's where I was. London. I had a nice time out there. And I stood up in front of the Queen's house
All right.
with the guards, and they're taking pictures, and I'm happy. And she was with me, and we walking up and down the aisle and things like that. I've enjoyed everything God has allowed me to do. Believe me.
Well, you made a lot of people happy. I mean, I remember your song, so if I remember it, lots of people out there remember. That's why we're looking forward tonight to
Yeah.
hear you tonight. So tell us about your connection with the Drifters, because there's a group with a lot of music history. What's your connection with them?
Okay, I was born in Columbus, Ohio. My dad was up in Detroit. So I went up there with him, and I used to just ride my bicycle, all that stuff. Then for some reason, I found a store that had these records in there.
Okay.
So I bought about 10 of them, and I had this little music machine I put out there, and I started singing those songs and listening to them. And my dad was a singer too. And after I got to the place where I really enjoyed these songs and I knew I could sing them, I went back to Columbus, Ohio. And when I went back to Columbus, Ohio, I got with a group of young guys, and we were practicing all that. And Bill Pinkney and the Drifters.
The original.
Yeah, they had a show. And Bill, I learned from Bill that if Johnny Moore, who had to go back to the Army, I was going to take his place. And I did. And it was fun. And I thank God for that. I have nothing to complain about whatsoever.
That is such a nice connection for you. Just due to timing, you fit in with the Drifters and a part of that
Right.
major part of rock. Because there's so many Drifters songs along with your song. I'm not saying this to be nice to you. This is the stuff I grew up to.
Yeah.
And I love it. Even to this very day, I still love it.
Well, we went to Germany.
Okay?
And when it was time to go back, all the other Drifters, we were living in Dallas, Texas, and by the time we got back there, I was the last one to get back, but all the Drifters were gone. They were down in Florida. So I figured, well, I don't know how am I going to get back there, because I had given away everything that I had because I was in the Army.
Okay.
But they let me out, and then I just about had to walk from Texas all the way down to Florida.
That's a
But
long walk.
I started hitchhiking.
All right.
I started hitchhiking, and I got a ride in the truck going down to Florida, and that's how I got back with the Drifters again. It was
All right.
fun. I enjoyed it, man. It was so much fun.
That's beautiful history.
I have nothing in this world to complain about. Believe me.
And you're still
God has
smiling.
been good to me.
Well,
And my wife is a nurse. Anything happens to me, she gets the pills, take this, don't take that, do this, man.
so you're paying attention to her?
I try.
You try. Okay.
I try. But like I said, I thank God for what He has allowed me to do, and that's sing. I've been doing it for 48 years, something like that.
And you don't get tired of getting up on stage and making people happy.
Well, I'm starting to get tired now.
Well,
But I'm gonna keep on until last time.
so any up and coming new projects for you? Anything that you're looking forward to that you want to tell us about?
Not really. I think by now, after all the years that I've been doing this, I'm 80 years old now.
You're looking all right for 80. I'm not telling you
I
that
got
to be nice to you.
friends. I got friends up.
We all do.
Yeah.
Some of them are a lot younger than 80.
And I've had so much fun, man. And I think this might be my last year.
Okay.
I think so. I've had so much fun. My wife being a nurse always helped me to make sure that I didn't overdo too much of this, or not take that of this, and so I feel good. I feel good. And I meet people like you too.
Well, bless you. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure for me and those of us at Vinyl City Broadcast, just sit down with artists like you and giving us that behind the scenes information that you don't get out of a book. You know, it's just stuff that you know.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Hendricks. So we'll turn it over to Marie at Vinyl City Broadcasting to fill in with some more information. Thank you.
Didn't you enjoy that interview? So did we. After the interview, we took a few pictures with Bobby and his wife Ruth, shared some personalized gifts, and chatted for a while. We gave Ruth a pair of our VCB 45 RPM rock and roll adapter earrings also. Rico, why don't you show the picture of her wearing the earrings to our VCB audience? She looks good. Of course, we all went to the concert that evening and enjoyed everyone's performance. After the performance, we all met in the Sheraton Lounge for further association. Ruth brought along a scrapbook of Bobby's performances over the years. Pictures capture that moment in time, and Bobby has a lot of them. Thank you, Mr. Hendricks, for your time and allowing us to interview you and association with you and your lovely wife, Ruth. We'll always remember that. Before we close the show, we want to let you know Bobby's next performance is a doo-wop cruise called Doo-Wop on the High Seas in October of this year, leaving from Long Beach, California. Also to remind you to go to Bobby Hendricks' new website, www.thebobbyhendricks.com, which will post on the final slide along with his contact information. Rico, let's play one of Bobby's hits as we close out the show. I'm getting that itchy twitchy feeling. I like it though.
Sitting here wondering what it's all about. This rock and roll music that makes you shout. You tune in on bandstand, they're jumping like mad, and they're dancing, they're doing it. Don't look bad. You get that itchy twitchy